Hi there, Gareth here again. I've got a video today about how much listening practice is enough. Um, I do predominantly conversational English rather than written. I do some written English stuff, bit of IELTS preparation, for example, in my professional life. So I would maybe analyse somebody's writing using a screen share on a Zoom or a Google Meets or whatever platform I agree on with each individual student. But quite often people don't struggle with reading and writing. Quite often it's more speaking and listening. Quite often IELTS candidates are, my reading and writing's fine because they've done the traditional course. It's very grammar heavy, their grammar's very good, but the confidence with speaking. Fundamentally, if you read more, you become better at writing. So if you want to write English better, read more good quality English. Good quality news articles, some good books by good authors will help you write better because you have the example of good written English. To speak better, you need to listen more. Listening can be more difficult. I worked in a company where there was a recommendation for an hour of listening a day, which I think is a good recommendation. I think it's something I would recommend. They didn't distinguish between listening to an hour of music or watching something on Netflix for an hour or a podcast. I don't think music will give you the same effect as actual dialogue will. Very few songs actually have good vocabulary. Singing's not as easy to listen to as speaking. It's less relatable. It's less important to understand what a song's about than what somebody's saying to you. So a podcast is very good because it's a conversation about something. If you can get one in video format with subtitles rather than just audio, it can be a bit easier. Being able to read and listen at the same time, you'll learn some spellings. And if you miss words, you have them written down in the subtitles, which helps a lot. I think it's very important. So I think that's much better quality of listening, which is the other thing, not just total time. Another methodology I've used had a transcript and an audio, something I've used quite regularly with my students as well. The transcript and audio can really help you focus on the words, listen to them, get in the routine. And there was a repeating phase or parroting phase, and then there's a phase where they do the exercises. So having these activities daily, it was less time, but more quality time than the other place recommended. I think just getting in the habit of watching a Netflix series, English audio, English subtitles will teach you a lot alongside more structured study. This is an extra. It won't teach you English by itself. I have actually learned a lot of Portuguese just from television. Watching football was a very good one for me because I understood football already, enjoyed it already, so it doesn't feel like a chore. You hear the commentary, you see, and you hear the words that match what you see. So that's something that can be very good too for listening input. So watching, if you're a football fan, watching football with English commentary, if you can do that, you can find it online, pirate. I'm not recommending this, you can find it legally too if that's what you want to do. I'm not saying which option you take there, but you get the audio in English and the visual that you understand. One football match, hour and a half, you listen to the punditry as well. You maybe have up to 2.5 hours, at least 2 hours of good quality audio that matches your interest because it's a sport you like. If you like basketball, for example, you could be watching the NBA. It's possibly less time, a lot of stoppages, but you hear good quality information that's interesting to you in your target language, and you learn quite a lot. And I did like this. MasterChef was also big for me. I've always enjoyed cooking since I was a teenager. I've always watched cookery programs in England and continue to watch the Brazilian version of MasterChef, and you learn words that are familiar because there's general cooking processes I already understand. Ingredients, some of them I understand, some of them are from parts of Brazil I've not been to and not seen yet. So there are some things that are completely confusing, but it is very useful. If you found this recommendation useful or you have a different one, please comment underneath. That's for other teachers or students. I do like to reply to all comments. Please like and share and comment, and don't forget to subscribe. I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.